So another month has gone by, which means we've got another Vinland Saga chapter. We were on a streak there of 3 or 4 good chapters in a row. It was a fine chapter, nothing bad, but not much to talk about. We've only got 3 fucking slides here. I'm pretty sure I fixed them all up. I didn't fucking proofread any of this shit. But here we are. This one will be short. It'll probably be like 6 or 7 minutes long. I don't know. On YouTube, you can already see it. We're live on Twitch, as we always are. Come join the chat. Not a lot of Vinland Saga people in chat usually, so it's a bunch of people that don't know shit about Vinland Saga trying to make fun of Vinland Saga in the chat. And this would be overcorrected if Vinland Saga people came through. But my Vinland Saga videos, my chapter reviews especially, always get weird views. Sometimes they do great in views, like literally second best on the channel ever views. And sometimes they get like 100 views and no one cares. So I got no idea what the fuck the Vinland Saga people want. I think it just depends on whether or not the chapter is eventful or something. Obviously the big one that got all those views was the time skip one. But here we are. Did Thorfinn just invent capitalism? Vinland Saga chapter 173 review. So the chapter is basically just Thorfinn giving exposition on the audience to how he intends to keep peace through mutual trade with the natives, and this is sort of his answer to why to our old tattoo man from last chapter about how he's going to keep the peace and how they're going to protect themselves if the natives have weapons and they don't take weapons, by sort of guaranteeing mutual, what do you call it? Not blooming, that's a weird way to phrase it. Mutual winning, mutual, what word am I looking for here? Mutual satisfaction is not the word I'm looking for, though I keep thinking it is. Mutual flourishing, or whatever the fuck. They're both going to do well as long as they're both trading with each other, because they'll give each other things that they can't do themselves. This is a basic tenet of why capitalism and markets work. Thorfinn thinks through all of this throughout the chapter. We're not really going to go over that. You can go and read for your sociology fucking lesson in Vinland Saga. It needs to be established for people who just don't understand those things, which I'm sure is some people in the audience. So it's just sort of an explanation there about how markets can save the world. And make mutually beneficial was the word I was looking for. Everyone can benefit. This is why America and China will never go to actual war together, and they'll just do proxy wars because they have so much in common due to trade and manufacturing and shit like that. Thorfinn's thought this all up 1,000 years ago, so look at him go. We'll see if we get alternative history and he gets a happy ending with his market scheme, or if it all goes horribly wrong and him and the natives end up killing each other. We'll see if we get that good or bad Vinland Saga message. I'm sure chat is going off mad. Well, never mind, then's mad. What's he saying? I explain myself badly. Thorfinn never implies private ownership of capital. Interesting. Maybe that could be true, so it's not capitalism. There's definitely capital, but maybe. I'm assuming that, I don't think the Japanese are big socialists or, like, co-ops. I'm assuming it's probably going to be capitalism. I rewatched your Black Lagoon. Well, hold on. We're not talking about Black Lagoon right now. How much ownership in Iceland did the actual Thorfinn have? Quantum Relativity 14 is new to the stream. He just arrived. I think this is his first comment. He's actually not a bot, so that's fun. I have no idea. I don't know shit about the real Thorfinn. Kyle is politically illiterate. Imagine my shock. Well, never mind then, is just illiterate, so imagine him. So what's going on here? So basically the through line of the chapter, besides this expositional montage about how market's going to work in Vinland and how it's going to keep everybody safe, Halfdan and Thorfinn continue to make love to each other. These two boys are in love. We will not hear otherwise. Literally want to be in a father-son relationship at the end of the chapter, but we'll talk about that in a second. Thorfinn is the he here. He's literally living the life Sigurd was supposed to live with his should-be wife and his should-be inheritance, if Thorfinn accepts it, that is. I think maybe Thorfinn's not going to accept this, and maybe this will actually transition into what Well Nevermind then is talking about, and Thorfinn doesn't really care about owning anything. He just wants peace, so he doesn't want to, he's against inheritance. That would be interesting. I don't know. Maybe Well Nevermind then made a good point. Who knows? So yeah, I don't know. I could see him accepting, I could see him not accepting. But the point is that he has basically taken up all the roles Sigurd was supposed to have with Gudrid as his wife, and as Halfdan's son, if he accepts here. So that's pretty funny. Sigurd getting cucked at every fucking intersection, rather. But he's off living his own life now with his new, much hotter wife, so he's doing alright. I wonder if we'll ever see Sigurd again, or if that was just the happy ending and we just are left to assume that Sigurd went off and he's living happily ever after on his own adventure, doing whatever the fuck. Also, they continue their flirty dynamic throughout the chapter as they discuss what we'll go over in the next slide. Halfdan plays the straight man and Hawthorne, and Thorfinn is wide-eyed and hopeful while being goofy. Halfdan continues to keep up his tsundere persona as he falls deeper for Thorfinn. It's cute. Halfdan continues to act like he's not emotionally involved or invested in the situation when he very much is, and he continues to try to give his keep up his hardened exterior, even though he's softening, which we see with him giving money, him being okay with Gudrid marrying Thorfinn, throwing them the wedding, him letting Sigurd go, and later in the chapter, when we get to here, we'll see more of that. Thorfinn invents capitalism to solve his issues. Here we go. Thorfinn asks Halfdan if there's an answer to Tattooed Man's questions from last chapter, and Halfdan really doesn't help him, but Thorfinn thinks out loud in a form of cute exposition and explains how trade allows mutual benefit, which discourages conflict. Thorfinn just invented capitalism and globalism, and he's very happy and very proud of himself. Profit. There's not really much to go over. We sort of went over all this at the beginning. I told you this chapter review was going to be fucking short. Not a bot, I swear, unless quantum relativity says. I mean, you're right about the Japanese being big capitalists, but I need to hold on to some hope. Well, fuck socialism, it's dumb as fuck. Capitalism all the way. We'll save the world. We see Cordelia again. She shows up here again. Her and Thorfinn have a little cute moment at the end. She's around when Halfdan offers his inheritance to Thorfinn at the end of the chapter, and she has like a little reaction panel. It's all cool. Cordelia shows up at the end of the chapter, and she's been given the okay to come to Vinland by Halfdan, which makes Thorfinn very happy. There's not much to talk about this chapter, so just her showing up gets its own panel, or its own slide in the PowerPoint. Not really much to say here. Obviously, we were going to get a happy resolution with this character. Whether or not it's a good example of a trans character in fiction, I guess it's still yet to be seen. Maybe they could redeem it, even though if it sort of misunderstands the trans experience. But yeah, whatever. She's okay. She's a cool. She's nice. It's happy. I'm happy for her. That's what we got to say here. But really, that's all we have. I told you this was going to be short. Holy shit, I'm about to say that line again. That's really it. I told you that it'd be a short review. Not much to talk about. Get out. We got a stream to do. I think that took roughly 6 or 7 minutes. That's really all we got to say about Vinland Saga, chapter 173. Subscribe, do all the good things on YouTube if you're watching it now. Should just subscribe on Twitch. It only costs you $5. But with that being said, support links in the description below. We'll see you next month. Thanks.